Baltimore and our syndicated cities. You are listening to 106.1 Praise FM, one of Radio One's favorite stations, and you're listening to There is a Place, and we want to take you there with your favorite host, Dr. Matthew L. Jones, and of course, me, your co host, Jamie Chris. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Baltimore. Good morning, D.C. Good morning, Maryland. Good morning, America. There is a place. There is a place, and I want to take you there. We'll continue to try to convince individuals and businesses and churches that there is a place, and I'll take you there, a place of self-employment, a place of home ownership, a place where the Lord has a plan that He has for you, and if we can be convinced and be assured and attempt to do the guidance that we receive, we can get to that place. So I will keep on talking about it. I will keep on till I convince individuals join in with us so we can help the community, help individuals, help the children, help those to understand that they do not have to accept defeat. They do not have to accept
That's right.
the circumstances and the crisis that they're in. Because if they have the right attitude and the right disposition and the right guidance, they can, the negative experiences that they are in or going through can be a beneficiary to their future. And that's the emphasis that we want to emphasize. All bad things can be converted, because that's what the scripture teaches us, that God take everything and make it work for our good if we have the right attitude and disposition and faith and the confidence and trust and belief that God is in charge of all experiences.
And what are those things again, Dr. Jones? Say them again. What are those things that we have to have? Because that's
we,
important.
we have to have confidence,
Confidence,
assurance, and faith
Mm-hmm.
and trust that God will take every experience of our lives and make it work for our good.
Thank you. Yeah, that's important. I needed that, and I'm sure everybody's listening needs that. We need those reminders for
Yes,
sure.
because there are a lot of us are convinced that our circumstances have undermined us, and there's nothing we can do about it, and we have to accept our conditions uh, and 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 be defeated,
No, that's
live
clearly not the case.
defeated.
That's right, not the case.
But you don't have to. I want to let you know, you don't have to do that. That's what Jeremiah 29, the 29th chapter is saying to the Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
They are being sent into Babylonian for captivity. but he was saying that you can take advantage of that captivity, utilize the experiences and what the captivity is able to provide for you, and prosper from the captivity. See, and that's what we do not understand. We can prosper from the negative experiences that we are having right now in our life if we allow God to take those negative experiences and transform them into uh, a future with prosperity and hope. And that's what Isaiah,
That's
that's
right,
what
because that's God's
Jeremiah
plan for us. That
is
is His
trying.
plan. So that's the only thing it
Yeah,
can translate
yeah,
into, right?
yeah.
That's it. I
And
love that.
and somehow we're going to have to convince and the way we do that, we start at an early age.
Okay.
And we have uh, Minister Cofield here with us. She has
Okay.
been working with children for over 11, over 10 years, 11, 12 years. And she has been mentoring and teaching these children. And for 12 years, of what we call
12 years. Okay. Okay. That's right. That's right. Okay.
we call development of a square, right?
Yep.
A wholesome and whole life. A square is complete balance on all sides. And that's what we talk about. A child that is completely balanced on all sides. That means that the training and the principles and the basics that they are receiving, they're able to deal with whatever experience come from any side because they're prepared. And she have worked with these children for 12 years, and many of these children have experienced college and all of these type of things, graduation, and some have returned
I was
to
going to say they
work,
still come back, right?
come back to work
Yes.
with, and she gonna
That's a
tell
big
us
deal.
about this program
Hmm.
because we are inviting all of the kids from the community, anywhere you are, we're inviting you to come join in this program because we start in elementary school, and that's what's so critical. We you have to train up a child
Yeah, you have to
the
start
way he's
early.
go when he
Yeah.
is young.
Yeah.
And when you start training these children when they are young, then you'll know that they have the foundation and they have the wisdom and the revelations
Hmm.
to transform negative experiences to a positive.
So positive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They,
love that. And I
they
love
have the
how
foundation to do it.
when you said last week, I think it was last week when you were talking about even the industrial arts, like that's why this program ties into what we talked about last week, how it's important because when it said industrial arts, we're so used to doing it in high school. And it said, didn't it say elementary and
Elementary
middle
school.
school?
Elementary
I was
school.
so shocked to see
Yeah.
that that's where it should start. So this is why this program is so important. Good morning and welcome. Welcome back, I should say. Yes. And we had one of your students last week who blessed us with I think it was the week before last with the solo. He played the what was it, the trumpet or something? I think the
One of the
trumpet. That was
students there.
amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah. So tell us about first introduce yourself. Of course, we always have to know who you are, even though we know who you are. So introduce yourself to the listeners.
Well, I am Claudia Cofield, as Dr. Jones has said. Uh, 12 years from ago, he asked myself and another young lady to initiate this program entitled The Development of a Square. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how long he had actually created this program. How many years before that, Dr. Jones, had you created this program before
I
you actually
He has so
initiated
many
it?
ideas and
Oh,
blueprints. Do
yes.
you know, Dr. Jones? Please
yeah
share.
We actually started with this. You remember this, Dr. Jones?
yeah
Oh, wait a minute. That's
that's
some
the book.
memorabilia.
But
Okay.
this is the second book that I produced on
Okay.
a similar type program.
Mhm.
I did one for the programs that was in Arkansas. I was a student in the seminary, I believe, working in Chicago, and I did produce a book
Okay.
that they took back to work with people in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, children in Pine Bluff,
Oh,
Arkansas.
wow. Hmm.
And it was similar to this, but it was not exactly the same thing. But
Okay.
it was an attempt to develop children at a young age.
So you developed the foundation when you were in school. So those long
Yeah,
papers and
yeah,
programs and curriculum you had to write. So that was the foundation there. You
yeah.
tweaked it, right?
And then this
Yeah.
is the development of the square book
Okay.
that we did to start this school uh, about 12
I'm
years ago.
excited though because it looks like it's transformed because this one says the development of a square holy, healthy, happy, helpful, and hopeful, which I'm
Yeah.
sure you guys still use those
Oh
foundations. But
yeah,
tell us
oh
about
yeah.
the four elements of the development of the
Well,
square.
the four squares are we have one focus is spirituality. That's
Mm-hmm.
where we strive to develop a spiritual being in our children, give them biblical concept to help them to
Amazing.
understand a firm foundation they can stand on that's biblical, and we know the Bible works.
We know the Bible
And
works. Okay. Mm-hmm.
then we have
Mm-hmm.
education, and that deals with behavior etiquette. It even deals with a little arithmetic. We get into that a little bit on writing and language, and of course it deals with language, teaching children what is good language and what is
Mm-hmm.
unacceptable
Just
language,
proper.
and
Yeah.
those other things dealing with how to be kind. Those characters like being kind and
Mm-hmm.
affectionate. Those are some of the concepts that we cover in
Okay.
education.
I love that though.
And
So they
then,
still get to reiterate things that they learn in
hmm
school and still get that foundation on in
hmm
Saturday school, right?
the teachers are over there this moment as we speak,
Okay.
teaching those
Yes,
concepts.
that's right, because it's back in person, right? So that's the
It's
one thing.
back
If
in
you're
person.
listening,
We came back in person
this is
on the
important.
22nd of October. This is our fourth Saturday back in person,
Okay.
and they are still coming. In fact, we had a whole family to join us today. A family called me yesterday. She had gotten the flyer from one of the parents here was uh, putting flyers at her
Oh yeah,
school.
promoting. Uh huh.
And she called me last night, and they are here. Those two parents are
Amazing.
here this morning.
And we
Uh,
And
noticed when she said education, we went into not only the academics, but also to the behavior
yes,
yeah,
science.
I love that part.
The
Yeah.
disposition and the attitude. A lot of
Mhm.
time we are defeated by our attitude. We have all of the skills in the world, all of the knowledge in the
Mhm.
world, and have the wrong attitude, and the attitude undermines us.
That's what the youth is saying today. They're saying that school education is one thing, but the education that they're getting, and especially like in public school, is not preparing them for the real world. So you are creating something that they're going to take lifelong with them.
wholesome and whole person.
Wholesome and whole person.
A
Yes.
whole,
And so we got spirituality, education, and then what else? What
We
else
have
we have going?
economics. Now we deal with biblical
Economics. Okay.
economics,
Mhm.
how to put God first in your economics.
Hmm.
And once we put Him first, as Matthew 6:33
Mhm.
say, seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, then all these other things will be added. So we teach them how to
Yes.
make God a priority in their life.
Not just using the word tithes and offering, like you really teach the concept of how it should be a holistic approach in our entire life,
Exactly.
right?
God.
see, when you talk
Okay.
about tithing,
Hmm.
you're talking about organizing your finances. See,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
not tithe. Sometimes we don't understand what tithing means. Tithing
Hmm.
means placing your finances in a priority method. What you're supposed to do first, what you're supposed to be second. Really, when you talk about tithing, you're talking about creating a financial budget.
That makes sense, Dr. Jones, but that's not what the churches or
Well,
people are
that's
sharing.
what the Bible is trying to. That's what tithing is. That's what tithing is all about. You're prioritizing
Hmm
your finances. Your prior what come first, and that's the mistake that a lot of times we make. You know, we go out and buy an expensive car before you buy a decent house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
start with
that part.
what comes first.
Okay.
Prioritize. You make them. One thing when I'm doing counseling in for marriage couples, we deal with one of the phases we deal with economics, and we deal with how to prepare a budget.
Hmm.
And go
So
right
how to
now
prepare a budget
how
is
to
important.
prepare a
Yeah.
budget.
Uh huh.
And I have these two couples, these two persons
Uh huh.
who are coming together. I have them to work out a budget and present it to me how they want to bring their finances together and work their finances together. What comes first, second, all this,
Yeah.
and that's pay yourself first and pay yourself last. Pay yourself first in your tithing, because
hmm
tithing is not given to the Lord.
hmm
Tithing is emphasis why you open yourself up so there'll be open blessings from the Lord. So
Nice.
paying yourself
I like how
first
you put that. Yes.
and paying
Uh
yourself
huh. Uh
last.
huh. Uh huh.
And that means investment, set aside last, you're setting aside savings, investment.
Uh huh.
So, and in between there, you have all the other things. You have your activities, your recreation.
Uh huh.
You're not going to deny all that, but it's the order in which they come. So you're teaching the children
Yeah, these gonna be some
economics,
awesome
but
children. These some awesome youth
not
coming
only
out.
you teaching that kind of
Uh
economics,
huh.
you teach them how to do basic things,
Right.
how to
Okay.
write a check, how to do basic
Uh
things
huh.
while they're young.
That's
Some people
important. Yeah.
get old and don't know how to write a check.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Ms. Claudia, what do you find like when you talk about like economics, or some people say economics in the program? What is your favorite niche about that corner of the square? Like, what is your favorite niche about that, or what do you feel like the children enjoy most about economics? What do they learn, or what type of activity do you think is like the big aha moment during the course of the program?
I remember one lesson that was developed. I don't know if I developed. The teacher used to had
Hmm.
three banks. and the one for saving, for three different
Three
banks. It
different
was
banks.
God, for saving, and for spending.
Okay.
And they had those three banks on, part of the object
God,
lesson.
saving,
And
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 spending.
the teacher was saying how you put so much here, you put this here, and you have this here. There were three different segments of that lesson. I thought that was sort of
Yeah.
impactful for the kids to see
Yeah.
how they operate.
And called them banks. They all three
Yeah, there were
different
banks.
Right. The
We
God
had
Bank.
piggy banks or
Uh-huh.
something
Oh
we
yeah.
had up
Uh-huh.
there,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
on the table, and they had to
Of course, because it was interactive. And then they were
Yeah. Oh
learning
yeah.
how to
So
save. I
notice he
love
had
that.
visible
Right.
stuff,
Yes.
visible stuff where they can
Yeah.
see the bank,
Yep.
see the different banks. That's
Tangible things. That's
tangible thing.
awesome. And so what's the last square?
Oh,
What was
recreation.
recreation? Okay, I know the kids love that because
Yeah.
that's when they get to be active, right?
Well,
Okay.
yeah, it entails hygiene. We don't
Oh,
have
Yeah.
lessons in hygiene, but we
okay.
added and music
Mm-hmm.
and some of the
Drama.
concepts, drama. The concepts there's developed discipline, it's developed competition, all those kind of things. Those are concepts that are developed in that area, and we have added another component to the recreation
Mm.
this year. We added for recreation, we added, gave the kids the opportunity to select an area of music that they would like to be involved in.
Wow.
So at the end of each Saturday, they get to go to their we call it special interest area.
Uh-huh.
So right now we have a piano class,
Okay.
we have a drum class, percussion class, we have brass class, we have dance class right now. We
Okay.
hopefully will get guitar class supposed to start today, I think. So and we feel like that. In
Mhm.
fact, it has been proven. It has been proven that kids who are involved in music programs score higher on standardized tests.
Nice.
They maintain higher graduation rates. They develop stronger math skills.
Hmm.
They have better social skill development, and they
Understood.
develop creative skills necessary for the 21st century workplace. So we
That
know
is
that music is a
awesome.
very important component in children. It's like, oh, I have three children. They always music, play some kind of
Yes.
instrument. In fact, my son's one of the brass teachers here.
Oh, he is? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good. So we have to pop in on him one day or
So
have him come on. So that's important.
so we added that, and we think that's going to also be something that's going to help kids to want to come as well, to
Yes.
get the other three parts as well, and then they get to go into that special interest area. In fact, the
Yeah.
first day, one of the parents said, "Oh, my daughter's taking piano." I said, "Well, yeah, that's part of what we do. That's just one part. We
One
have the
part.
other parts as well." But she
Right.
was focused on the piano,
Right. Of
but
course she was, because that was her
but she's still
goal.
here. She's still
Oh,
bringing
that's
three
awesome.
kids. She said, so
Absolutely.
we'll develop, and that seems to be moving along pretty good. So
That's good.
we'll
I love what you
hopefully
just
that will
said.
keep them here with that, and then we're going to bring in some of those other concepts as well from the rec
But
focus as
that
well.
is important. That music component and just seeing how it transfers in their life and how it just helps them to be like a holistic person is
Mhm.
important. So wait a minute, Jamerson, my 13-year-old, if you're listening, sports is not everything. Get back into your music because the drums is where it's at. Like I tell him all the time, music is important. And so what do you think
We
in
value the
general?
sports too because
Okay, you
it
value.
is
Oh
yeah.
Lord, here we go with
It
sports.
no,
Okay,
no
how they
we do
valued? Uh huh.
we do value because
Uh
that
huh.
is here they are trained that in your sports you're demonstrating that you can make fast decisions.
Okay.
Because if you're
Okay.
playing basketball, you got to make a quick decision whether you're going to pass, shoot, dribble, or what
Okay.
it's instant decision. And
Okay.
and and you practice if you can transpose that to life, you know, and see if you inform the child that there's a connection,
Uh huh.
then they don't have to discover it when they get old.
You just got you some more fans, Dr.
Yeah.
Jones. Them young kids, they listen. They're like, yes, fight for the sports. I think it's important. So I'm glad you shared that because it sports is connected to life, right? So that's important.
Decision making.
Decision making is
Very
connected to life.
critical in all of the sports. It got to be all of the sports requires a quick decision. Whether you're playing tennis, boxing, or any other sports, or
Okay.
football, any other sports. If they can't, those teams that not they're not trained to make fast, quick decisions, they're not going to be too successful. They're not going to make it
Hmm.
to the Super Bowl.
Okay. But
Now
hey,
you
good way to
watch
put it.
those teams that are quick and fast and making fast decisions. All of those teams right now that are doing that, they are
Mhm.
saying that they potentially able to get to the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
You can watch them and see those who are really making fast decisions.
And they the ones that win and excel. I love that. And so I know their parents listening, right? Their parents listening. There may be some young people listening. Of course, it's a Saturday, so I know we may not have too many young people listening. But for the parents and mentors that may be listening, how can they be a part of the school, or how can they get to next steps to join the school, or do they just show up on Saturday? What's that look like?
Well, they can call the church at 410
Mm-hmm.
367 1117 extension 108, and
Okay.
they should be able to leave a message for me, or I'll be there to receive.
So it's
And I will take the information.
okay, extension. Okay, so it's 410-367-1117, and then once it answers, they go to extension 108, and the
108.
message will come directly to you.
Yes.
You will get it. I
Yes.
love it. And so that's how, and they just let you at least want to know before they show up that you have new people coming or they're
Well,
inquiring,
if
right?
they can't reach me, they can show up.
They can just show up on Saturday. And
Yeah,
what
they
time
can.
does it start? What's the
10 o'clock. We start devotion at 9:50, but basically 10 o'clock.
So tell them
Okay.
about the devotion, the pledge, and all that. So how that kind of
Oh,
that
so wait a minute.
portion.
So they got a little devotion thing
Yeah,
going on
They
before they
got a
get
pledge
started?
they do. And
Yeah, we have a planned devotion, and we built it around a theme.
Okay.
And our theme this year is seeking a wholesome and whole life as we challenge the present and embrace a new beginning. We
Mm-hmm.
wrap that around our church theme for the year, which comes from Isaiah 43:19. So
Okay.
we start with a theme song, and as much as possible, we try to find a song that mimics the scripture. So our scripture right now is be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other,
Mm-hmm.
just as in Christ God forgave you. And that comes in Ephesians 4:32. And we found a song that says those exact words. So we start with the song.
Okay.
Kind of compassionate to one another. They
Right.
learn to sing. They just learned this is a new song.
Okay.
And we do the scripture. And then we have a prayer that follows the scripture. And then we end with the pledge. The Dr. Jones wrote this pledge on the spur of the moment.
Okay, let me
When
just
we
hear this
open,
pledge because this
hear
is
the
setting the
pledge.
atmosphere, right? For
Yeah.
them to go into their classes. So what's
Right.
this pledge? What's
The
this thing?
pledge says, I pledge to receive equal training of my head, my heart, my hands, and my health. My
Mm-hmm.
head to think right, my heart to love right, my hands to do right, my
Mm-hmm.
health to live right, until I become a wholesome and whole person. So if you notice, each one of those parts in the pledge relates to one of the
Yes, the
purposes
four
of the
squares. Uh-huh.
square.
Uh-huh. I
So
love that.
you see the head, that's what education.
Uh-huh.
My heart, that's the spirituality, right, Dr. Jones?
Yep.
The health, economics, what my hands to do right,
it's
Yep, to do
economic.
right.
economics,
Okay.
and my health to live right, that's recreation. So he put
Wow.
that. I mean, he sat there, spare the moment, wrote that. We were having our opening. He wrote that and gave it to me. I saw him writing. That came to him just like that.
Right. And I mean that's what Dr. Jones does. So
That's what he
that does
does.
not surprise me, like I'm sure. So this is important because kids, like I know that there were things. I remember a prayer that my second grade teacher taught me. And I could say I'm 38 years later or whatever.
Get out
No,
of here.
second
You're
grade.
not that
No,
old.
yeah, right. Yeah, second grade. I don't know. Like, maybe not 30, maybe 30 years later from the second grade. Right. Let's go back. 30 years from the second grade. I still remember. So this is great because I know that these children they're gonna say it like it's in their brain and their mind. So even if they can't pray one day or they need focus, like they can go back to this very pledge and just say it to themselves and be confident
Yeah,
or
but
feel
let's
like
put a little bit
yeah.
more emphasis on the drama and the music and
Mhm.
the all of the other activities in the streets, the marching bands.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
I keep forgetting y'all got
they
comedian,
do
y'all do everything.
out of this program. They do
Right.
the drama and the music
They
and the
do.
marching.
Seems like everyone is running from the truth. You got scared up and fine, walking through the night. We're the people, we can do it if we try. I know we can do it. Somebody ask me why do we have to go through it? It's just the cares of our face. Oh, we're living day to day. We don't know where, we don't know when. But it's time to start again. About that time. Oh, time to make some change. We are the people who can do it. It's about that time, y'all. Time to make some change. We are the people who can do it. Yo, repeat it for me one more time. It's Jesus to spread his mighty back. Earthquakes are moving through the land. It ain't nothing but a sign that it make up our mind. For the people, we can do it if we try. I know we can do it. Somebody ask me what do we have to go through, man. It's just a test of our faith. We just live this thing for
time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love, sent by one from heaven up above. Think of it, it's simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying. It's all we can do. Somebody else said, what do we have to go through it? It's just a test of my faith. We're living day by day. Don't know why, don't know when. Oh, yeah. Here we go. It's about that time, y'all. That's right. We are the people who can do it. Together to make that change. About that time.
Y'all back on.
Back, you're listening to 106.1 Praise FM. You guys just caught us, and we were just talking about the students in the program and how they have businesses now and cosmetology. So this program, the development of a square, the Saturday school here at Concord is amazing. And we were just wrapping up with our interview because Miss Claudia is amazing. She runs the school, but she just shared so many relevant things with us, in regards to the development of the square, the economics, the spirituality, the education, and the recreation. So I'm excited, and we're thankful and grateful for her. I know you are, Dr. Jones.
Yeah, one of the phases that we focus on in the mentoring, this is a form of starting in elementary school and mentoring the kids, to helping them to focus on developing the basic principles from the very beginning.
Okay.
So the one of the things in education, she talked about behavior and language, and public language and private language. All of this is written in the book. How to there are children who are experiencing in their home any kind of language, right?
Yeah.
Any kind of language.
Okay.
So we don't want to approach the kid and condemning their family, right?
Okay.
So we approach it this way: that there's private language, things you hear at home, and there's public language. So you don't come out with your private language in the public.
That is right.
And therefore, you have not condemned their parents who they hear at home in their private language saying all kind of things, because but you are saying that there's stuff that you don't supposed to say in the public.
That's right. That's right.
So all that is under the education thing.
That's perfect. They're learning how to speak the King's language. I love it. That's what's up. That is perfect. And so you were saying something though before Ms. Claudia, we didn't get to touch on. You said so there's technology in the program as well?
Yeah. First, let me kind of go back to the basic, what we are emphasizing.
Okay. Yes, the show, right.
In the show.
The mentor strategy.
Yeah, the mentor. And this program, this development of a square, is a form of mentoring these kids, when they're very young.
Absolutely.
And bringing them all up. And the beautiful thing about it is that many of them have remained and after they have gone to college, and some of them have graduated from college, because it's been 12 years. And now some of them are back in here.
I love that
mentoring other small children and helping with the program and doing all kind of things. So it's
coming back to
I was coming out often, and I ran into a group of them sitting out there. These are older individuals. They're not elementary.
No, they're mature.
Sitting out there,
yes.
And so they were involved in assisting.
Okay.
And they also are involved in other radio programs that is sponsored by the individuals that are working in the school. Mona has a radio
resources.
program.
Oh yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting. Yes, shout out to Mona.
She's one of the persons who's doing with the drama and the music and all that with them. So she have them participating and working on her radio program. So they are involved in theater, radio, theater, television. So I think all of this need to be exposed to kids in our educational system.
Absolutely.
They have to, and that's what we talk about, that not only are I know we have been emphasizing industrial arts, but we are not negating the liberal arts. We think they are critical. There are many students,
yes,
especially liberal arts was highly important when I was in high school.
I'm a liberal arts person, so there you go.
And one of the reasons, because they were insisting and pushing for kids who were going to high school and stuff like at that time to go to college, and
Right.
they were creating all kind of methods and grants and stuff so they could encourage them to go to college. And during that time, you had a large percentage of African Americans going to college. Now, uh, I think at one time in the early '60s, it was as high as 52%. But now it's less than 20%.
I was going to say, Dr.
Understand?
Jones, that number has significantly
So
changed, almost half.
we're not going to negate the importance of liberal arts. I don't want
Okay.
no one to think just because we emphasize industrial art. But the reason why we were emphasizing industrial arts is because there are many students who are not graduating from high school, who are not going to college, and if we don't provide some basis for them, then they end up, in trouble and
Yeah.
on the streets.
That's
and
why
all
this
that.
program is a blueprint to reduce, not to
To reduce the crime.
not to take away crime, but to reduce it and to create more resources so the children and youth and people
Who are
have
not
something
going to college,
Yeah.
who are not graduating from high school,
Mhm.
they can be involved in all of these other. Some of those kids who are not going to high school or not, I'm not going to graduate from high school, not going to college. There's and what the scripture said, I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, a plan to prosper you and not to harm your plan, to give you hope in a future. Some of those kids has a natural gift for singing.
That part,
Natural gift for singing. They may not
especially in
finish
our
high-
community,
they
them
may-
kids can
look,
sing.
they may not finish high school, but they got the voice. They can make them a million.
That can make them a couple million. You're right
So-
about that.
So we
Yes.
need to we need to capture them
Yeah.
and encourage them and lead them to that.
hmm
Lead them to
I agree.
utilizing the plan that God has given them. God, they didn't go they didn't even go to school to learn how to sing. They didn't go to school to be educated.
Nope, not at all.
It was a God-given gift.
Natural talent.
Yeah, you can call it natural talent. That's
No God-given gift. Okay, I'll take that one. Understood. Yes. Right.
But the point is,
Uh-huh.
we're not negotiating liberal arts, but we want to emphasize that what we really need to catch those individuals who are not finishing high school and are not going to college, and let them know that that they do have something.
To have resources and help.
They have something within. They
Mhm.
have something within, and we want to have them to understand that they do have something. Some of them think that they're hopeless. They got a hopeless situation. They are gifted with something.
Yeah, they are.
Something. Every person that is. I want them to know if they're listening to me, you are gifted with something. I want the parents to understand your child is not a hopeless case. He is
Right.
gifted or she is gifted with something. And our job should be to help them to identify what that God has given them. God has given them something. And that's what I want to emphasize. God has given them something. And that's what they are doing here with these children. They are helping them to identify. That's why they have all of these different options.
Okay.
And the last option that we did not mention, the time ran out before we mentioned, was the technology.
Technology.
The
Mhm.
technology they are providing also with children here who have a natural gift with computers and skills, natural skills on
Okay.
computers and things.
So it's nothing that you guys do not cover in the Saturday school, the development of a square. It's not, if you guys
We-
seem like you have it covered.
we attempt to, the main thing is we attempt to identify whatever gift that God has given them.
Mm-hmm.
And we involve them in different things, because what happens when you're involving them in all these different things, the gift that they have will come out. You'll see it. You have some who are involved in singing who can't sing.
That part. That might be me. Yes.
You understand?
Okay.
You
Uh-huh.
have
But I
those who
love
are
to sing. Mhm.
involved in different, in drama, who's not a great drama person.
Facts.
But
Mhm.
but as they involved in these different things, the thing that they are gifted in, you'll see it. And
They'll come
therefore you
out.
can able to help them to identify that and let them know, you're really gifted in this. So and that will inform them early. And they don't have to discover when they get like there was some things that I discovered that I was gifted in after I finished college, and I
Me
was in
too,
graduate
right?
school.
And I'm not going back to pay for
I
it, right?
discovered,
Yeah, I
and,
agree.
and I thought about that, and I said, if I had known this, because it was five of us in college at the same time. We using the same meal card and different all this stuff. 5 sisters and brothers,
Right.
and we were doing the same meal
Y'all were not
card.
playing.
And my father died when I was 14, so my mother was putting us all in school. Said, "Your father was an educated man. Every one of you are going to school." So we were in college and all this stuff. And after I graduated from college, I discovered I was doing motivation speaker for insurance company, and I was challenged by an agent that I think was so easy. Why don't I do it? And I took the challenge, and I discovered I could sell.
Right.
I didn't even know
that you had that right all inside of you. Yeah. No, that's a big deal.
I was teaching at the University of Virginia. I was teaching at the university, working at. I was doing a lot of different things. I was head of broadcast at the time, and I discovered that I could sell. And I worked 2 days a week, and I outsold the agents that were working
full time. I knew you were going to say that. Yes. Well, that's because you're good
After
with
3 months,
numbers
the vice president called me in and said that I had to renew your contract. Because you done validated your contract for a whole year. I got to give you a new contract and increase the salary. 3 months later, he called me back in. He said, "You done validated that one. I was working with 2 days a month." He said, "You done validate that one." He said, "But I don't want you to sell anymore.
Right.
I want you to teach my agents how to sell."
And
now, I've been doing it 6 months, and they've been doing it 25 years. And here I am supposed to go.
Well, y'all need to watch out. So if your kids come to the school, they're going to get some of those same talents. So wait a minute, though, Dr.
So I'm saying those gifts they have. And they can help them to discover those gifts when they're in elementary school.
No, that's
high
important.
school.
Yep, long early so that they can actually.
But if we're going
them.
to make a difference, we're going to have to. Main thing, we got to work together. At the churches and the businesses, the churches and the community, the churches and the businesses, and that's what the first part of the program, where the churches and the businesses need to focus on working together.
Absolutely.
The community, the church need to focus extensively on the businesses in the community. Invite those businesses into their churches in that community. Let them know that you're there for them.
Right.
If we're going to affect the crime problem in the city, churches and the businesses, number one, they will have to pull together and work together.
They will.
And that's our first part of our program.
First strategy, first stage of the mentor strategy. But just quickly going back, because I know that there are parents listening, because we've just pumped the Saturday school up. So I know people are listening. No, outside of calling Ms. Cofield to leave a message or say they're
they can just
they're
show up.
They can show up because it's free. Is that what it is?
Free. It's
okay,
absolutely free.
People are listening because they're waiting to see, is there some type of gimmick? Is there a registration cost? They're trying to know if it costs.
No cost.
Let's be clear. Parents, that's what you've been waiting for. It is free.
It is free. You can show up on Saturday, 5204 Liberty Heights.
5204.
If you don't call, just show up.
9:50.
9:50 in the Saturday morning. Just show up and they'll register you. They'll test you, make the COVID testing and all that stuff.
And the kids go right to class that same day. That same exact day. Okay, good. I just had to get that off because I know I'm a parent.
5204 Liberty Heights Avenue, just before you get to Rogers. Coming from the other way, just as soon as you pass Northern Parkway.
Yep.
And Rogers, we right here. And let those, but
parking and everything is available. But I know how it is as a parent. If I was a parent in my car driving and listening to the show, I'm like, please just tell me what does it cost? Do I need to bring money? So parents, if you're listening, Saturday school, Concord Baptist Church is absolutely free at 5204 Liberty Heights Avenue. And if you have any questions, call us at 410-367-1117. And we're here.
And it's part of the mentorship program.
Definitely.
At a young age.
Yes.
In elementary school, we noticed that one of the things that industrial arts, as we were talking about that, we started in elementary school.
Yeah.
They said, so you're teaching people how to mechanic shop, cooking, all that kind of stuff. Because all of those are places where you can develop your skills and do your own thing.
And there are also things that I tell people all the time, like those trades you just named, those are jobs that computers will never take away. Like a computer cannot cook for you. Technology, they can't. I mean, I'm sure they probably do have a robot that can cook, right? I'm sure that's because that's what it is. But cooking, building, construction work, all that stuff, computers, technology can't take that. We still need people and hands for those skills.
Yeah, and utilizing technology to design things and make it quickly, you can quickly design,
Mhm.
quickly plan it. You know, technology has its benefit, and I reckon in all of
Definitely.
these areas,
Of course, yeah,
because
yeah.
it speeds up
Mhm.
the time that it takes to design or to create or to formulate or
Okay.
whatever necessary, whichever area that you're working in.
I agree. Okay. Yeah.
They are bringing new computers in here, new things
Oh yeah,
to
we
make
know
a
the Saturday schools.
make
We know it
available
good
for
here.
these kids
Yes.
can, you know, to learn these skills
Mhm.
and introduce
Absolutely.
these skills
But I
at
think
a
like in
very young
school, like
age.
you said, with the industrial arts, if we're teaching industrial arts early on, elementary, middle school, and then we get to high school, like you said, if they choose not to graduate from high school or
Or
choose
can't
not to
graduate.
graduate or can't graduate for
Yeah.
whatever reason, they have a skill and they have a skill that they can utilize and go right into the work world if they need to, right?
And we want the churches to let them be aware of the fact they can come to the church and they can be mentored, guided by individuals in those
Mhm.
areas. We want the churches to give support to those kids
Right.
who are not going to college, who are walking the street. Uh, you know, get some flyers and pass them out to the kids all through your
Mhm.
community, and let them know, come to our church. We're going to mentor you in some form or another. You know, we got to reach our kids
Yeah, we do.
on the streets who didn't go to college,
Mhm.
didn't finish high school. We have to invite them.
It's more to church than Sunday morning service. And I think that's what youth don't know. Like they really don't know that the church is a powerhouse and
That's
that it's
right.
more than just coming to church on Sunday for a few hours.
It can aid them in developing business for themselves.
Mhm.
It can aid them into giving them resources.
Yeah.
It can aid them to provide attorneys to help them to incorporate. All kind of things that are available there. One pastor that we had here, I was speaking at the state convention this past week.
Mhm.
He came to the stage and said, "Man, I'm glad you invited me to the
Hmm.
show." He
Mhm.
said, "Because every Sunday, I got a group of people walking the street and passing out flyers and
Oh
reaching the
my.
folks on the street that's in the downtown Baltimore."
I
His
love
church,
it. A
his
success
church was
story. Yes.
downtown Baltimore. You
Oh
probably know what I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. I know exactly who you're talking about. Downtown
And
Baltimore.
he said
Yep.
he passing out flyers, and I said, you're gonna have to come back and we're gonna talk about you passing out those flyers
Mhm.
on the street, reaching those kids,
Yes.
bringing them kids into the church and helping them to develop. He 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 uh he was committed himself here on this program to do this mentorship program from his church in the community downtown Baltimore.
That's perfect.
And
So
every
phase
Sunday,
one is
now understand, I
moving.
want the people to
Yeah.
know every Sunday, he said, after service, every Sunday, he is out there with the group in the streets, reaching those children, passing out those flyers
Mhm.
every Sunday. So we want churches,
That's a
all
big
churches, to
deal.
take that same disposition, that same attitude.
Mhm. They
There,
should, and
there
they
are
could take the
kids
blueprint.
out
Yeah.
there who will, you'll be surprised, they will respond to you. I was driving down the street here, and for some reason, I had to stop for some. But
Mhm.
when I stopped, no, I think that there was one of these things that you put on to mark the streets off,
Yeah.
and I started talking to him, and were excited about being able to be motivated and
Mhm.
helped with through the church. Mm.
And if he's interested in starting,
Right there on the street,
I
right
love
down
it.
Liberty here, only because I would not have stopped if that thing hadn't been talked about.
Matthias, see, that's
So we
funny.
got to
Yeah.
deliberately get out there,
Mhm. To do
meet
that.
these people, meet these children.
Yeah.
Now, because I've been,
I like the concept of Sunday though. I'm sitting here thinking like Sundays people aren't in the rush to go to school or go to work. Like Sundays people have a little bit more time for conversation. So I'm
right, but between services,
Mhm.
we had people to walk, all the parishioners between services, to walk around the community.
and
You know,
come and talk
right,
about
right
what
here
the
in
church
this
is
community,
doing.
to walk around through this community, meeting people. All there were about 4 or 5 different. They would go. Some would go one direction, one would go the other direction, different direction. They would go to circle this community.
That's
To
what the churches should be
That's
doing.
what we have to do.
Yeah,
We
I
have to
agree.
reach the people in our communities.
I mean, you say it in the first, like when you talk about the first stage of the show. You say the Black church is and has always been the strongest economic entity in our community, and we need to step up and act like it. And I'm saying we, because it's not just Concord is doing the work, but
we are not doing all that we should be doing.
Okay.
I'm not saying that we got it all.
But you guys do a lot.
I'm saying that we all need to step it up.
That's true.
Because we are the people and we can do it. That's what the song
Right. That's
says.
what the song says.
We
right?
are
Yes.
the people and if
Shout
we
out.
can do it. Concord need to step it up. We all need to step it up.
Agree. Okay.
We need to be, we're not out there in the community, circulating the community like we were doing before the pandemic, but we need to work some kind of fashion to get out there. And we have had parades and stuff this year, right?
Okay.
Down
you did. You've had parades.
down through
You
the
had
community,
fish fries.
parades,
You blocked
fish
off
fries
the
and all
parking
that.
lot.
Parking lot
Karaoke,
stuff.
dance
And we
line,
do pass out
everything.
food every twice a month to 200 or 300
Oh.
people that come drive through. We do all that kind of stuff, but
Uh-huh.
it's still not enough.
Still not enough.
We need to have a systematic plan
Agreed.
of
Something in place.
mentorship of what we're talking about.
Okay, so getting back, so you said we got to have a plan. So your plan, I love this mentor strategy. It's amazing. There's a place we want to take you there. So the goal of the first stage of the show is to show that spirituality and economics are one and the same. And this is where we want to bring together the church and the minority businesses, right? So that's stage one. And so at the same time, we want to mentor young men and women who wish to start a business or have an existing business of their interest or mentor them. And I like to always stop there because we say young men and women, but we always support that it's anybody, any age, any ethnicity. You can start a business at any given time.
That's right.
It's no right or wrong age to do that. And so and then we want to make sure when we use this method, we strengthen both the church and the community at the same time. So that's
right.
the goal.
Absolutely.
Second stage of the show, which we were just talking about, the industrial arts, is to show the necessity of the industrial arts to be back into the school system. And you know what? You say the school system. You never said high school. So that's good that we learn industrial arts needs to really start early on, elementary, middle school. And this will give economic stability to our children and communities who are not able to go to college or finish school, just like you said. And so they'll be guided through the mentor program and through their schools to get to where they need to be. And so tell us a little bit about the third stage.
And assist the church.
Assist the church.
The church will assist them in helping them develop themselves. We want those kids who are walking the street who didn't finish high school. Let them know the church is there to help them.
Yes, the
church is there to help them to
Mhm.
develop the skills that God has given them.
Agreed.
Yeah, and the last thing, of course, is
The third stage. Yep.
home ownership and self-employment.
I love home ownership and self-employment.
And
Mhm.
I was talking to one young lady. She said I'm not too familiar, the program where they subsidize individuals home
Their rent.
subsidize their rent and they
Is this for them to own home or this
no,
for them
that's
to
for
live?
them to live, and they can't make too much
Oh, you're
money.
talking about the housing
housing.
choice or housing voucher programs. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like Section 8, you have the
Section 8
MBQ
and stuff.
vouchers and
But she
things
was
like
telling
that.
me there was a program and that's part of Section 8 is that it will help you to own your property.
Really?
This was this week I was talking to.
Okay. Sounds like something.
I
It sounds like
told
important.
I said this need to be, if there is a section that to help the person to own their property, not only to have them, Section 8 help them to live,
Right.
rent property.
Uh-huh.
And she said that also it include helping them to own their property.
Home ownership. Okay.
Yeah.
Section 8. Well,
And I
when
wasn't
I
aware
get
of
to work
that. And I
on
don't know
Monday,
if
I'm going to
this is what
research.
she said. Yeah, you have to,
I'm going to let you know next week.
let me know what she said to me. I told her I was not aware of that.
Me either.
I
No.
was not aware that Section 8 would help people to own their property.
See, I knew about the rent to own, and I thought
yeah,
it was. I knew it was,
I've
it's
been
a
going through
landlord.
that
Yeah,
for
it's a
a long
landlord
time, yeah.
discrepancy. I mean, it was a landlord's choice to make, but I didn't know that Section 8 actually had a clause
I didn't
for
either.
that. Okay,
But
we're gonna learn about it.
that's
We're
what
gonna
she
see.
said.
Okay.
That's what she said. And I said, well, then I asked him, I said, well, she was saying how much, she came for a job.
Mhm.
And she was saying how much she has to pay for rent. And if I'm going to pay her, how much she said, rather than paying $500 for rent, she got to pay $1,100 for rent.
Yeah. The
And,
more money they make, their rent goes up.
And so I did the calculation for her. I said, well, it's worth paying $1,100 for rent if you're going to make a month if you're going to make $3,000 a month,
Right.
because that means that the $500 difference, you profit
20,
$2,500
yeah, I was
more
like $2,400,
each month.
$2,500 more. Right.
I
Right.
said, let's make that sacrifice.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
said, but then if I stay in this program, it provides home ownership for me. And that's
Then that's worth the benefit. So you have to weigh your options in
yeah.
that case.
Then I this
Uh-huh.
so when she threw that in, then I didn't have I don't know how much they how long,
That's the key. The length of time.
I didn't know anything about that type of
Mhm.
program.
Mhm. Okay.
But I was emphasizing to her, you
I guess they have to really understand. They have to understand economics or economics, whatever you want to call it. They have to get that full picture for them. But I love that, and that is the beauty of the third stage of the show.
but
to
we have to focus
charge
on
the major businesses to be a part of this.
Yeah, we have to focus on home ownership. Now, we emphasized from the beginning the major business to do this, but I think I was saying maybe the minority business, if they can assist people with home ownership,
Mhm.
we need to make that sacrifice as well.
Yeah.
We said the
Of
major
course.
business
Yeah.
tie home ownership in with
Mhm.
their employment.
Yeah.
Tie home ownership in with employment.
Yes.
If they work in, the mortgage can be deducted.
Out their check, they won't
Yeah.
even miss the money.
No,
Like I
'cause
love that
Because
concept.
they will adjust
To
their
whatever's left
lifestyle and
over.
money automatic come out.
Of
The
course.
mortgage are automatic paid,
Mhm.
and they have a place. They have their own home, and it's and a lot of instances when you're setting up your business and bills,
Mhm.
you have it automatic come out of the checking account, so you won't have to think about
Yeah.
paying.
Oh no. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I can't, and I don't like paying late fees. So yeah, you're right about that.
Automatic,
But I think this is a big deal though. So conclusion, the purpose of the strategy is to eliminate 50% of crime in our communities because we believe that the crime problem is an economic problem rather than just a social problem. And it should be dealt with, from an economic perspective rather than a sociological perspective. That's like the summary as we close out. I know we have probably like one more minute, but
Yes.
as we close out, but that is the conclusion and the purpose of the show. And again, if you're listening and you just want to be a part of it, if you're a business owner, if you want to start a business, if you're just interested in helping us out with the concept, please call us at 410-367-1117, Concord Baptist Church, 410-367-1117. And I'm signing off as your co-host, Jamie Chris, and I know Dr. Jones want to close out.
And only endure it for the night.
Dr. Jones is
Only endure for tonight. I want to show you how joy can also be experienced.
I know that's right. Right. Even though every time
Where they come from. I really want to know this.